Hey there guys, Portal Master 9351 here, and I wanted to tell you guys that we may now have a pretty good idea of what Wave 1 will be composed of. So, we already know, of course, the Starter Pack and the Dark Starter Pack and all that stuff, but we now have reason to believe that the 6 Skylanders and the 6 crystals that you see in front of you right now will be in Wave 1. Well, why do I say that? Because of this. Down here, or actually two things, actually. It says available 14th of October 2016. So that makes it sound like everything on here is available then. But the real part that makes me confident that it will be, you know, Wave 1 is down here, where we can already see, them listing off the ID numbers for all these characters, and also, you know, they're not all there, only the ones on this poster. So, is this all of Wave 1? Maybe, maybe not. But it is a pretty decent variety. We'd have a water, an earth, a life, an undead, a tech, and a fire. So that would be 6 elements. So that's not that bad. Now, people were saying at one point that Ember was going to be in Wave 2, but a lot of people doubted that she would be in Wave 2 because she was showcased at E3. I think that this is pretty much confirmation that she will be in Wave 2 and not in Wave 1 because of multiple reasons. We have a Fire Skylander and we have another Sentinel that's going to be in Wave 1. So, I really think because of that they wouldn't put another Sentinel and another Fire character in there just because it won't add to much diversity. Now, I already don't know why Chopscotch and Wolfgang are in the same wave. I kind of think that that's a little goofy, that they should have put somebody else in here, but, like Pinata, but I don't really know. I also think that Tri-Tip is in this. I just think that they didn't want to put him on here. Now, I know that that, once again, does add another Earth and another Smasher, and I'm not very happy about that, but who knows? Maybe he's not on here because he's not going to be Wave 1, and he will come out later, because then it would be just like with, Ember, there would be another Earth character already and another Smasher. And actually, if Tri-Tip was released Wave 1, then all of the Earth characters would be out on the very first day. So it would seem weird not to release one of the very first characters that was showcased in Wave 1, but not completely far-fetched based on what we've seen so far. As for Pinata, I don't really think that he would be Wave 1. Hoodsickle would probably not be Wave 1. Or any of the other leaked characters that we've seen would also probably not be Wave 1. And down here we can see the crystals. So, these look like the crystals that we've seen before. I think that this corresponds with the life crystal that was on the thing put out by Skylanders Game, not the one in the Dark Starter Pack. So, it looks like they went with the one model per crystal version because excuse me, because, you know, only 6 are coming out. You know, with the traps, all except light and dark were out on day 1, but not all of the versions of those traps were out on day 1. Now, I think that when you're only dealing with 1 per element, it makes sense to stagger them out. It's a little frustrating for those of us that may want to make like a Fire Bow Slinger or, you know, an Earth Smasher on day 1, but we've got water, magic, light, life, undead, and air. So that is 6 out of 10 of the creation crystals that would be released. And we can see here that it is going to be, I believe those are pounds or those are euros. I don't really know. I guess they're not euros anymore because of Brexit. I don't know what those things are. If someone can tell me what these things are, that would be greatly appreciated. I really don't know what those are. But anyways, that's 6 out of 10. I think that we can assume that Wave 2 would probably have another 2 crystals, and then Wave 3 would probably carry the last 2 of the crystals. I don't really know. So that's about 60% of the crystals released on day 1. If we get Ambush, Barbella, Chopscotch, Crankcase, Taekwon Crow, Wolfgang, and then Kingpin, and then Golden Queen, that is 8 out of 30. So that is actually less than 1/3 of all the Skylanders out in Wave 1. So that is a bit low, actually, in terms of numbers. So there may be some additional characters thrown in there. I don't really have a good way of saying, you know, who's going to be in what wave. It's not really easy to figure that stuff out. And we can actually, you know what, I go back on that, because the Fire Creation Crystal is in the starter pack, and I guess won't be sold in singles. So I actually guess that 70% of all of the creation crystals will actually be out on day 1. So you'll be able to get most of your creation crystals on day 1. 70% of them. And then probably Wave 2 might bring another one. Wave 3 might bring 2 more. And then the Fire Creation Crystal may be released in like Wave 4 or Wave 5 near the end of the cycle. But yeah, that is pretty much all for now. So that's pretty much Wave 1, so that's not bad. And there may, like I said, be more characters that will be coming to Wave 1 as we go on. But yeah, that's all for now. Check out my social media down in the description, and if you haven't already, enter into my legendary Bone Bash Roller Brawl giveaway. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye!